Windows 11 wants your Microsoft account just to change your wallpaper. Mac OS nags you for a $2,000 computer that's basically an iPhone with a keyboard. And Linux, well, Linux is great, but let's be real, it's turned thousands of flavors into the same thing, with people on Reddit telling you you've picked the wrong one. So instead of bowing to tech giants, I decided to go completely off the rails and try 6 of the weirdest, most obscure operating systems that you can actually run for free in a virtual machine. These aren't made by billion-dollar companies, some were made by a single person in their basement, garage, or possibly an alternate dimension. Some of these are really weird. Colibri OS is smaller than most MP3 files. Seriously, it fits onto about 1.4 megabytes. Compare that to Windows 11, which takes up 64 gigabytes and still nags you to update. It's written almost entirely in assembly language, which is basically like programming with a stone chisel, and yet it boots pretty fast, has a really nice GUI, and you can even play Doom. Windows can't even boot without a dozen background processes and a Microsoft account. Next on this list is Temple OS, and as you can see, this looks incredibly confusing. I don't know what this is even, like, what it's used for or anything like that. I did not do proper research on this one OS, but it was made by some guy called Terry A. Davis, and he made his own programming language called Holy C. And yes, it has a built-in Oracle. You literally pray to your operating system. That's actually pretty cool. I like that. When you first boot up the OS, it actually gives you like an option to take a tour, so you can kind of learn like the controls of like everything. But I don't know how to use this. Like, I don't know what's going on, and this is honestly hurting my head. So, on to the next OS. Menuet is another smaller operating system that fits on a floppy disk. It's under 2 megabits. And yet, it comes with a really nice GUI and a few pre-installed stuff like IRC chat and a few games like Colibri. ReactOS is ambitious, a free open source clone of Windows. In theory, it can run Windows apps. In practice, it's like Windows XP after a heavy night of drinking. But hey, at least you're not paying $200 for a new OS every few years and signing your soul away to big tech. And finally, we have Visopsys. It's another one-man project, and as you can see, the user interface is pretty basic. The installation for this one wasn't too tough, it's just the partitioning thing is kind of annoying. Um, but all in all, it's a pretty good OS. It has some basic apps, and is pretty easy to use. To conclude, there are a ton of free operating systems out there just to prove that big tech isn't the only game in town. And some of them are surprisingly functional, others are just brainfuck. At least none of them ask for your credit card, social security number, and last medical records to change the theme. Also, all these operating systems will be linked in the description, so you can go and install them and play around with them if you'd like. Also, I am working on a Discord server, so once I get like all the moderation for that, I'll probably make a community post with the link. Let's try and hit 100 subscribers by the end of September, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video or got something from it. I'll see you all in the next one.